Good morning. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And man, I was just thinking there's so much to go on or to talk about, to go on and on about. And right now it's where do you start? Where do you even start? So there's first of all, we just went through that peak that we were expecting on the 17th and today. So it's a 2 day peak, and it's all over. Like it's so cool when you get such a correct, like this was spirit telling me about it all that time ago. And so it's just really exciting, mostly because it means we're here. There's a lot of other things that have happened. So, of course, that Uranus Kazemi was really profound and powerful. We had this uh, uh, massive sunspot that went geo-effective. We had a spike of almost 18 on the Keep KP index. The Schumann's been sending out a really weird signal for a little bit. I'm almost wondering if it's like a true feed. It's just very bizarre. It's not a feed that I'm used to seeing, especially in such a, it's stagnant seeming, it's just real. So it's really interesting. I don't know. There's a lot of that going on, as well as in the world. I don't follow the news like all y'all probably don't follow the news either, but there's been some really cool things that just happened. So the Bureau of Indian Affairs is the U.S. version of what I'm going to talk about for those of you in the U.S. But the FSIN, which is the Federation of Sovereign Indigenous Nations based in Saskatchewan, Canada, just put a call out. They called out to the Vatican to return all of their sacred items. This is foretold, people. This is something that we're expected to have happen right now in this part of the prophecy. This is prophesied by all indigenous tribal groups all through the Americas and elsewhere, and I know for sure, I can say for certain in Australia, as well as some of the tribal regions of Africa, they all have this part of their prophecy. So it's here, and that's very exciting. This is the joining of nations. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, as all this stuff is shifting and all these things are coming more in balance. Oh, by the way, they just banned processed meat. Like that's gonna piss some people off. People who really like hot dogs and sausages and bacon are gonna be kind of a little bit frustrated. Pepperoni, and a lot of the deli meats are processed, so these things are on their way out of the market. And so a lot of the toxins are going to be leaving our bodies, and we won't have as much clearing to do. But in the meantime, the Ascension symptoms are freaking crazy. As I'm going to grab into your comments, a lot of us are having a lot of stuff going on, incredible exhaustion, this vibration in the core of your body that a lot of us have compared to the sensation of being pregnant and the baby moving in there. But just on a small scale, like, the early part of pregnancy, I guess. I only did it one time. So, but, um, anyways, this vibration is the energies coming in, and our body kind of quakes in the presence of this energy. At first we very quickly find our balance, metabolize the energy, and find our equilibrium. But for a little bit, sometimes it can go all the way out through the body. Like I've talked to people recently who have whole body shaking kind of stuff, particularly in their extremities, specifically hands and arms. This is something that a lot of people are experiencing while this energy moves through us, this heightened energy, as well as like weird headaches that just seem to last for a short enough time that you kind of forget. But yeah, and just for me anyway, these headaches are like kind of subtle. They're not like really strong, so it doesn't really leave a strong imprint. But I've talked to so many people lately that just haven't been getting out of bed, not because just not getting out of bed for longer than they're used to. Not because of depression or anything like that, but just that's what they feel like doing. That's what their body needs. You know, a lot of us are having these kind of things going on. Deborah says, hello, Mila. Thank you for this today. Thank you. It's good to see you. Welcome. And hello to everyone. Lizzie is here. Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing? Man, and some pretty intense energy's been moving through. Like, I've been watching my kid. My kid, she doesn't normally interact with the energies like she's been doing the past couple of days. You know, the younger group of individuals, the alpha generation, Gen Alpha, I guess is what they're called. I think that's funny because they're the ones. If Elsa was here, she would be like, um, anyway, is they're having sensations and ascension symptoms too. You know, I've also talked to people who are from a much younger age group, but they're all alpha ends at this year. So all babies born in this year are going to be beta, I guess. So they're the twos. But I don't know, generations, the way that they're trying to put lines in the sand annoy me. Apparently I'm not Gen X. I'm actually like some kind of like in between generation, because I started out in dialogue anyway, I started out without technology and then analog. That's what I meant to say. I said dialogue. Anyway, and then have moved into the digital age. So we're, according to them, we're bridges. Vanya, hi guys. Hey guys, how's the grand evolution going? Painful joints and bones and muscle aches all over all the time. Apart from that, it's all fine. Yeah, except for that, you know. Yeah, dude, there's a lot actually going on right now. A lot of shifting. A lot of people are talking about this specifically in the joints. There's okay, so I don't know if I can share this diagram without like sharing this person's information. So I'm gonna like, because of the diagram that was drawn really helped. Um, kind of. I mean, I'm gonna just rip it out and show you guys. This is something that's been happening for a while, but I'm noticing that it's happening more. This is just a very basic sketch, okay? It's not meant to be like beautiful in art forms, but like, so do you see that rainbow? This is, so the person, this is coming in through their sacrum, okay? So behind them, you can barely tell, but that's the back of them right there. And a lot of this energy is moving through the sacrum. It looks to me much more beautiful than that, but it looks to me like a rainbow river in motion, like in the air, and it's kind of, it moves around like I don't know, like a body of water would. There's no sharp corners, you know. It's very beautiful, and it's kind of like a kundalini as it moves up through your spine. It activates your hips, it your tailbone, your all, and it goes through every one of your chakras all the way up. And then when it cycles to the top into your head, it's meant to be like an ankh. You know, that shape where it goes up, kind of bows out into a circle, and then circles back and then meets itself perpendicular, moves down, and then has a line through it. These are your arms, this line, and allow that energy to flow this way. Sometimes you want to cycle it, just let it keep going, but eventually you'll want to release it. This will help. I know it sounds really bizarre, but it will help. This is part of what they're already been doing. And on top of that, they've been delivering an increased amount of what looks like light, white light, into the space that's of the hippocampus of the brain. It's like right behind your nose. You go through your head all the way back to the back of your head. Right below that is releasing all of this density that's kind of piled up for a while. It's like dusting a house that's not gotten dusted for a few lifetimes, and energetically speaking. And so this stuff is coming off from the back of the mind, that low self-worth talk that's been attached to the brain stem. And this is also activating the spinal region all the way down, you know. So, but the most common reported things that people are talking about, I've been sensing it, and a lot of us have. It feels like your hips are kind of, going back to that birthing sensation. It feels like your hips are kind of preparing for birth. You know, it does. You know, even men, like, doesn't man, woman, whatever gender and age group, So girl and boy, a lot of us are having this strange thing going on. And so sometimes it does have a painful or uncomfortable sensation associated with it. I found the best way to resolve this is to do what I just described, that moving of that light with intention, because then it anchors it down. It moves out through the root chakra, down through the pelvis, and into the earth. Once there's an overspill, kind of like a big glowing root of a tree, it's massive, and then it spreads out in the soil. When this is done, a lot of this kind of built up stuff around other joints gets relieved, so um, and then of course there's so much going on with the back. I still haven't made that video. I really truly intend to make this video, but I posted it in the Telegram group about how to assist the back. It's really a beautiful channel thing that I was guided to do by my guides. Hi, good to see you, Lizzie. Carrie's here. I've been missing you, Carrie. I was wondering because yesterday and today was a huge wave of emotions. Yes, Carrie, exactly. We had some serious energy coming through. We're not done. It's not bad, but it can feel unbalanced or not quite stabilized like we want it to be. And then, just know that what you're meant to do is release. We're not meant to hold on to this stuff. We're not trying to collect it, instead let it move through you, past you. It's a river. And as you stand within the river is wet, not you. As it brushes against your ankles, let it move. Let it be somewhere else, let it go on. And instead of identifying with it and trying to figure it out, just let it be released. I know it's hard to do. A lot of us have this, I don't know what it is. I think because we really want it to discover, and there's this craving inside that is this draw, this compulsion. You're compelled to discover and find, just uncover things. That's why we're here. So there's that natural guidance, though we can't always be fit into every category of our life, which is included this one in particular regarding emotion. And so cry, scream into a pillow, scream into the sky, rip up an old phone book is what I used to say, but I don't think they make those anymore. I haven't seen a phone book for so long. It's so disappointing because that was a really good thing to rip up. I used to go to the driving range, and which is just golf. You go get a bucket of balls and just hit the ball as hard as you can. And sometimes you're, pretending the ball is someone. It helps release a lot of this pent up stuff and then just have it released. That was some of my earlier things. I remember also learning about you can rent, or for a fee, you can go beat up a car. They give you a bat and some gloves and some glasses and say, do it. Whatever it is that you do, go to the batting cages, go pull weeds. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that people do. As long as we release it, let it out, because underneath it is tears, and the tears that need to be cried need to come out. It's a form of spiritual technology. I know a lot of people don't like that word technology, but I'm learning that more and more there's this crossover of the AI stuff that is actually surprisingly quite spiritual. And, there's not a lot that's fully understood about it. But, I mean, I'm not suggesting anybody become a cyborg in any fashion. I'm definitely not getting chipped, but, oh boy, so, okay. So your sore lower back, stomach bloating and pains. A lot of this has been coming through. A lot of people have been talking about it and the guidance of that. The floor thing I was talking about, it helps to be able to get on the floor. But if you can't get on the floor, find something of a hard enough surface, as hard of a surface as possible. Especially if you can lay on a wooden floor or something like that, because the vibrations really do affect what you're doing. But I am going to make a video about that. It's not going to be a very long video. I need time. I've been so busy doing extra shows and groups and stuff that I just have. But I will make one. I should do it soon. It's not very long. Hello, good to see you, Amanda. Welcome. Angela, hi, Mila. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Ralph, welcome. Good to see you. Hi, Mila. Hi, all. Love from Scotland. Love from Arcs. From Arkansas. The Arc. Sprite says, awesome. Yeah, just read about. Okay, let me find. Hello, Deborah. Love from Texas. Good to see you. Absolutely knackered, says Ralph. Yeah, dude. The exhaustion is so apparent. And it's a weird kind of cozy, want to take a nap on a warm summer day in a hammock, kind of tired. It's not an unpleasant tired for me, but it's definitely tired. Like it interferes with anything that you want to appear motivated in regard of, for instance, the example of making that video. That won't take very long for me to do. I've said it like 5 times probably, just live, and then I've also mentioned it in sessions and groups. I just need to do it. Foot pain. So I also had this. I was wondering how many people were having this. For me, it was on my right foot. I have heard a few people in a conversation I've had with recently that out of nowhere also foot pain specific to, I think every person, most of the people I've talked to, it was the left foot, but for me it was the right. So and then it just resolved itself. And I do know that. Oh, and along with that, the soles of my feet were heating up. Like it was really weird. Like the rest of my body was great. Like I was in perfect temperature for just the soles of my feet. And so what I ended up doing was I sat up on the counter and put my feet inside the sink and let the cold water run over them, and then I still needed more. And then I realized I needed to go outside and ground. I needed to go and stand in the grass and the soil and walk around outside. And I began to feel immediate relief from the sensations of the discomfort also, so it's something that might help you. Morning, everyone. Love from Australia, Sydney. Thank you for joining us, Zeta. Totally wiped out. Vanya says, yep, dude. Yep. It's all kinds of, everybody's having this experience and the energies as it comes. So if you've noticed that when we jumped at that KP index jumped to almost 8, it wasn't 8, but it was close enough that, it went from this like gentle, like green and, some spikes in the yellow, and then boom, red. There wasn't even a transition of orange. So, a lot of us sense that moment. We're having activations, and a series of activations started back on the 12th, as well. That was during that full moon, and a lot of other things that were occurring at that time. Excuse me, we're still in, this whole window of what's happening currently too. Also to do with the Uranus Kazemi that started yesterday. There's a lot of things going on with Uranus right now. Uranus is leaving Taurus and going into Gemini. And so this transition is going to change a lot of things. And it's already starting to be noticed, so it's really fascinating to be here right now. Feels like the wolves inside me are coming to an agreement, not in a nice way. Well, I can say that there's a lot of integrating, our shadow aspects are called shadow for, because Freud named that stuff that. It doesn't really it's not a very good word in my opinion. Another word that they use for it is inner child. But whatever it is, it's the parts of us that we have at one point or another made an agreement to edit off of our personality in order to be more accommodating or desirable in a group, to our parents, to teachers. And then we've just learned to do that and kind of forgotten that part of us. And when those things come out, maybe it's met by, mockery or whatever. And, those parts are meant to be reintegrated. Those parts are still part of you. So it's kind of interesting you brought that up, because there's been a lot of that merging happening. We merge with previous aspects of ourselves that are always still connected to us. And then when we do that, we take on more wholeness of ourselves, just as you do when you recover or resolve trauma from previous moments in this incarnation as well as others. It's really interesting that you say that in the way that you did. There's been a lot of stuff about wolves coming through recently. Bella says reading about a large old southern plantation used for in weddings went up in flames. Wow, there's a lot of stuff. I'm really looking forward to. We're having a group show on this coming Friday. It's going to be really fun. It's a group of women that. So I host a weekly meditation group on Tuesdays. That's like open for anyone who's interested. It's a subscription based. Some people are offering $44 for a month of joining us, and some are offering 33. And there's a variety of different, whatever it is you're able to do. Anyway, among that group, we meet every single week and do meditation. We also spend about an hour in conversation, and it's really fun how many different real balanced amazing energies have started to join us. And we decided to, those who have consented are all going to come and join me on a show on Friday, and we're going to have a conversation. There's a lot of stuff that each one of these women are well versed in, and I also plan to invite a couple of other people. So if you're interested, come join us. That's going to be a show that's going to start late. Okay, it's going to be starting, I believe we decided 5 p.m. Central Time, so that'll be 3 p.m. Pacific. That just, to accommodate, there's a lot of different time zones and people from different countries and stuff. So it's going to be really fun. Anyway, and in that, we're going to talk a lot about Tartaria and some stuff like that. That's what made me think of it. But I'm super looking forward to it. There's so many things that you just don't get a chance to talk about. Woohoo for the ending of processed foods. Yeah, Mia, dude, there's a lot. They're taking all processed foods out. This is going to make some people kind of mad. Is that I'm not speaking against anybody on welfare. I spent a good amount of time on welfare myself. If it wasn't for welfare, my daughter and I don't know what would have happened. So no judgment at all. We did also buy unhealthy foods with our food stamps, and they're changing that now where you can't. They're taking it away because SNAP, the N in SNAP stands for nutrition, and we're noticing the allowance to shift the knowledge of what food is. Food is medicine, and many of us had kind of adopted quick, easy snacking, convenient snacking kind of food, and also comfort food as being the definition of what food is, when it's not. Those are guilty pleasures kind of stuff, so this is changing, and I know there's going to be some time of disruption through the transition, but so many people are going to benefit from it. You know what I mean? That I'm looking forward to it. So anyway, I didn't mean to go on that tangent. I'm just excited. I just found this out. So it's like fun to me. Loud ear ringing. I've been noticing the ear ringing coming back a lot more than before. Yeah, lots of ear ringing. And then also underwater hearing. It sounds like muffled hearing on one ear and then ringing in the other. And I'll find that typically they happen really close to each other. Yeah, that's been happening a lot more. That's typically also what happens when you raise your frequency quickly, is that your ears start to ring until it kind of balances itself. Hello, Maya. I almost feel sick today. Cold and hot, and so strange feeling. My heart goes crazy. Fall asleep for 3 hours in the middle of the day. I've been napping a lot too. Heart palpitations, heart going crazy is probably what you're talking about. Really, a lot. That when the energy spiked, that's actually why I started to track these graphs to begin with. The Schumann resonance, the solar flares. I've just always been interested. I didn't know why, but I understand that. I put it together, that they're very closely correlated, as well as other Earth things, like what's the moon doing? If it's a super moon, it's crazy. I know it's the stuff that I never liked astrology. I thought it was so bogus. I really did. I also only had exposure to like the newspaper, 3 lines from my sign kind of astrology. But now I understand it more on a greater scale, and to see how it really truly is affecting us, so that's why? Is the heart palpitations also what felt like a panic attack or anxiety moving through? And then finding out it was, there were earthquakes happening they weren't moving my ground that I'm standing on, but it affected me. So it's validating and helpful once we can put that correlation together and see the direct result of one thing to another. We don't have to be so consumed by the fear of it. But I definitely understand where you're at, Maya. Thank you so much for sharing. Love your name, by the way. Inflammation in the joints and fatigue, heartburn, it's horrible. The heartburn, I started to have that, and the way to resolve that I found was salt. Like I'll put a little bit on a spoon. I won't fill the spoon up. I'll put a little bit, like I'll sprinkle some on there, and then I'll put that on my tongue. Let it sit there for a moment. And I'm talking about pink Himalayan salt is what I use. People also use Celtic salt. It is not encouraged to use table salt. That's a whole different thing. That has 2 minerals in it. It has been devoid of its 82 minerals, or excuse me, 80 minerals, 82 minerals to begin with. It's been 80 of those minerals have been removed. And there's all kinds of different stuff in table salt. However, pink Himalayan salt, just on your tongue for a little bit, and then just drink water behind it. All of a sudden, it goes away. It turns out that a lot of us, what our difficulty was low salt, therefore low acid. Acid reflux or indigestion, a lot of times heartburn, a lot of times feels like it's too much acid when it's actually because there's not enough. So that's not always the case. I'm not a doctor. That's just what my road has led me down to discover. That's my personal experience. So hello, good to see you, AG. It's fascinating how much I've found being resolved simply by allowing the salt in my life. Excuse me. Pardon me. Lizzie says, I just can hardly sleep up 18 hours nightly. Then I sleep 3 hours and waking up wondering, am I nuts? Laugh out loud. Never known anything like it. Brain is wired. Yeah, I've been having that the past couple of days. I have been too. Yeah, and my daughter as well. Like she was still awake at 9 o'clock yesterday morning. It's crazy, and just really, really tired. But then also when it's time to sleep, I'm in half sleep is what I would call it. I'm not quite asleep. And then all of a sudden you're just like, boom, there's some real heavy activity that happens. It's happening a lot for me also. Oh, yeah. Ralph says lots of upgrades going on. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I wasn't the one I meant to grab. I do my best to leave your conversations in the chat for you all to just have privately as best I can. Deborah, yes, tailbone. Yeah, dude. It's weird. There's so many people talking about the tailbone right now. Hey, anybody having their right foot vibrating, especially in the center and the bottom? That's exactly the area that I was having. And what I did is I went outside, put my feet in the grass. We have a lot of grass here. And yeah, there's, you might want to wash your feet when you go in the house, but we're going to naturally have different things moving through our bodies. I know everybody's really scared about walking barefoot because they're doing a scare tactic or a smear campaign about it, telling people that they'll get parasites that way. Yeah, you get parasites by doing pretty much everything, interacting with any surface, and there's a lot of healing that can be done. If you really can't stand that concept, you can also bring sterile soil into the house, but I really strongly encourage anybody to stand barefoot, walk barefoot, sit in a chair without shoes on or socks on, and just let your feet rest on the ground. Sometimes, and then when it's cold enough, I'll do that next to a tree, put the chair up against, near the tree and put my feet against the tree. It's very grounding. There's a lot of ionization that can still occur through the tree, as well as, through the soil, the sand, the water, the flowing water. Great to catch a live stream. Sending love. Good to see you, Terry. Oh, I just love you. Ha, I'm surfing like a pro. Who needs coffee, says Lizzie. Yeah, I've not been drinking caffeine for quite some time. My coffee is half uh um what I end up making it out of is dandelion root, and then I'll also add like other things to it. Usually, like what I bring in is black tea. I know it's kind of, like it's weird that I kind of mix them together, but the way that I do it, it's really good, and it's coffee for me. So sacrum is really tight and tender. Plus, big toe is giving off sharp jags. So big toe on the right foot. I'm just curious, Ralph, because this is so common right now. Right big toe. It's and some people have said it's the left, but they're having the same experience. So I'm seeing other people are saying yes in the comments as well. The sacrum is exactly where that rainbow flow is at. I'm sure you're referring to that point I brought up, but just in case, I stuck it back in here. This is what I was talking about earlier. So this is just a silly little sketch, but if you notice from this direction, this is the person's back. They're facing that way, and there's like this rainbow, watery, liquidy, solid mass of energy. It's energy is what it is. It looks like a rainbow, much more pretty than that. I didn't have all the colors either. um, and it's moving in through our sacrum, and as that moves in through our sacrum, what we want to do is let that move up like a kundalini, kind of up through all of our chakras and through our spine. Once it gets into the brain or the top, then it circles around and starts over again, back into and creating what looks like an ankh. The energy also spikes out on the through the shoulders and down through the arms. You don't have to put your arms up to do this, but it does help the flow of it. When we're in that kind of like visualization of it, it helps direct it as well. But it really helps. It really helps to release it, because then you end up cycling it through a few times. Eventually, it wants to go out and down through your root chakra by means of the space between, hey, it's 333 in your pelvis, down digging a root of light into the ground beneath you, into Terra. And it releases and relieves a lot of these sensations. Our energetic field is much, much larger than the capacity that is, you're attempting to keep it in within the confines of this small body that you're in. There's a lot more to you, and we've been operating at a small, pulling our energy in kind of bubble, like almost like a fetal position, when we're beginning to release and realize we need to let ourselves flow into our toroidal field, into our energetic field. When you can stretch your energy, then you also notice you'll keep a better posture too. It's really fascinating. So, random muscle pain in the back of my neck. Okay, back of the neck, that's another part of this. I'm also noticing I've been having this weird, like, they're kind of like blisters almost. Like I've been using the word acne-like, and then sometimes they're like, but it's just down the neck and like starting in the hair, just at the base and off the side. I've heard, since I started to talk about it, a lot of other people talk about it too, but this is directly associated with the remembering is what it is. See, the hippocampus in the brain that I discussed, that's on the other side of the nose, if you go all the way back to the back of your head, this is directly connected to long-term memory. And the kind of long-term memory we're talking about is lifetimes ago. We're talking about incarnations and cycles that go on for a very long time in some cases. They're remembering. And as it's coming back to the hippocampus, it's expanding that space with this brilliant white light. And it's initiating the decalcification, or at least the growth of the pineal gland, which is the third eye or the brow chakra here, right? As well as the releasing of the stuff on the brain stem. Now, what's occurring here in the brain stem is there's been stuff collected there because there was space to sit. And now, as we're expanding the hippocampus to the size of energy that it's meant to keep, it's pushing out the stuff that doesn't help us anymore. Has never really truly helped us, honestly. These little fragments of energy that have been collecting on the brain stem associated with the reptilian brain by people who really haven't knowing about this kind of stuff has to do with um, well, what's been connected is it connected to that more than maybe perhaps even ourselves directly. Having said that, what's occurring is the low self-worth talk, the back of your mind, that's the stuff, that the voices that speak down to you, shaming you, making you feel like that you're not good enough, and all those awful kinds of low self-worth limiting thoughts, they all come from this space. We all associate it with the back of the mind while it's being released. And as it's doing it, there's also, as above, so below, a physical component to it. It's this purging and this discomfort in the neck. And that all the way up the top of the shoulders as well, kind of like the middle of the upper back as well. This is also connected with the evolution and expansion of the wings, the energetic wings that we all have. I know it's a topic. It's one of those things that every time I smile to say it, because like, I know what this stuff sounds like, guys. I know what a lot of this stuff sounds like. Until you experience it, it can feel and sound very silly. But then it really is. We really do have these spiritual appendages, and they are quite vast in size. Sometimes we'll even see them in the glow of the corner of our eye, and blaming or believing that has something to do with someone else, a different energy, when we're actually seeing ourselves. And so the releasing of that is also associated with this as well. So it's very fascinating. Kind of like the limiting of the brainstem was connected to the wings. And so therefore, as it leaves, the activation of the wings is more possible to be accessed. Deborah, Ralph, yes, my big right toe. Yep. There's a lot of people having this going on. Oh, Carrie, thank you. I just love you. I've been wondering about you a lot. I'm really happy to hear from you. Thank you for saying hello. Everybody's saying, yep, Ralph. Lots of yeses. Dang. Beat up a car. What did I walk into? Shut up. Yeah, I was talking about that time that if you want to release anger, you can pay to, see some places like junkyards and stuff, they'll pay you, or you can pay them to beat up a car or release your emotion however is best to do. I'm very far behind, so I'm gonna whoopsies. I'm gonna highlight every single comment. And let me jump down. I hope that I don't miss anything too. Okay, I'll grab here. Deborah, Scotland food is terrible. Okay, here we go. Vegan Vixen. My heart goes boom, bip, boom, bitty, boom, bitty, boom, bitty, boom, bitty, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, dude, there's a lot. This must be a song. I like it. I do know that our hearts are very much being activated right now. Definitely. Joshua's here. Love walking barefoot. Nothing at all wrong with it. It's good for you. Just be careful to walk in places where people aren't breaking bottles and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I've stepped on a car or dog crap. Vegan Vixen. You're right. Definitely I've seen a few incidences, one of my most beautiful people I've ever met. Her name is Belle, and she used to walk barefoot through the woods, doing construction. She was building fences and all kinds of amazing things, and she'd do it barefoot. And there's a few times where she stepped on some things, but she worked for the DNR and was out in the woods and just real out far in the sticks. And I just wow. I was very impressed with her. You know what I mean? I don't know if I would do that. It'd be good to have some type of covering going through some of the thicket that she went through. But that's really neat. It's so good for you. It's so healing. There's so much that you receive that you also make the imprint in the soil. Right toe, Mila. Yep, Ralph. That's so fascinating. What is the deal with that? I got to develop it more. But anyway, really a lot of benefits from it. Deborah, when I put my feet on our old oak tree, the leaves start rustling. I guess it likes me. That's so cool. I've been seeing this thing. that's been going around, and I tried it and it does work. I didn't record it, and I've been hearing other people talk about doing it too. And that's going up to a tree limb near to you and talking to it and asking it to come to you. Say, follow the sound of my voice. Say it softly. They talk wistfully, trees, and talk to it. And you can have it really far away. I've seen some examples, like it'll come to you. It'll bend itself to you. If you watch some of these like fast motion like photography regarding plants, you'll see that plants move. They just move slowly. I mean, they move dramatically though. They typically, when they're growing, they'll typically spiral like this, but they'll lean and move. They'll follow the sun. They'll move away from toxins. They'll also listen to you. So connecting to a tree and asking it to come touch you and interact with you in that way, it is beginning a really important and beautiful relationship, a bond, a sharing. So I'm glad that helped you. Awesome. It is 8:33 a.m. in New Zealand, so it's 8:41 in New Zealand now. So from Karen, New Zealand's such a beautiful place. Energy field is much bigger for sure, and consciousness itself doesn't conform to physical laws of time and space. It's actually time and space that derive their laws from it. Yeah, dude, that was really well said. Thank you. Yeah, there's so much that we've not been allowing ourselves to access, for many years, if not incarnations. And so there's a lot to look into and to understand about that. Did anyone see the recent crop circle in Wiltshire, UK? If not, check it out. I'm definitely going to. Thanks for the heads up, Vegan Vixen. Yeah, dude, some of this stuff. We're just starting, man. This is so cool. Where there's going to be, we're in that time of the revelation, the big revealing. Like everybody talks about when's disclosure and all that kind of stuff. Disclosure is already now, where it's happening, and you are disclosure. We are disclosure. This is just conversations. It's already out there. It's almost like a sheepish, yeah, the government kind of stuff is like, oh, okay, well, just going to move with it instead of to really have a conversation about it. Exactly. For a little while, just to let it slowly unfold itself. And try to stay out of it as much as possible is kind of how I feel like they're probably going to be doing. It doesn't matter, though, how or when or why and all those different aspects about this is it's already occurring. It's happening, and it will last for as long as it takes. There's many things that are just below our feet, hidden out of sight, but still within reach that are being brought forward. And, the difference between the above and the below, as above, so below, finds it has deeper significance. There's a lot of these beings. Good to see you, Lavender Sky Panther. Speaking of seeing beings, check out her YouTube channel if anyone is interested. She's able to find things in the sky that is just amazing. She also has a wealth of information and knowledge regarding a vast variety of topics. Hi, hugs all around. Just joined on words, energetic wings. Oh, yes, they are real. Oh, exactly. They really are. I feel like our big toes are about balance. So right big toe, masculine balance throughout body, maybe. That's a really good assessment, Karen. Because yes, this is the divine masculine side of the body. And it with balance in particular, this makes a lot of sense, actually. That's really cool. Huh. Because, yeah, thank you. Not because, just yes. Wonderful. I appreciate that. Deborah agrees. Yes, we are disclosure, Vanya. We are. And we're in the disclosure of it all now. As we allow ourselves to kind of reconnect. And a lot of us being tired has to do with the desire by yourself, your higher self, and your this self to slow down, take a break. Therefore, you can get the downloads, and they're actually brought into you. Like there's a bunch of stuff that has to do with like we're too distracted. There's too many screens. We have too many things on our list to do, that we're not fully able to release our consciousness in the moment in order to receive the downloads and the information, the clear drops that we're getting, like, and so we're drawn into this place of tiredness. So we will be quiet, be peacefully quiet in ourselves. You can do meditation and receive the vast benefits of that moment just as well as you can to sleep. But I would say a lot of us are choosing sleep, even if we're going to meditate. That's our plan, as we go lay down or sit down to meditate, and as a result of the meditation we get so relaxed that we want to go lay down, or we just fall asleep in meditation. So this is something that is happening for all of us. Knowing what it is makes it easier to do, and prioritizing what's important to get done. Like, my next thing that I need to do is to do the dishes. We're running low on forks. I'm living that kind of a life right now. The other day I was proudfully telling everybody I got my dishes done and my laundry done and put away. And I was like, look at me. I feel so superhuman because there's been so much of this lately, that we're needing to kind of just be in this grounding lull state so it can be gently brought into us, what's coming in, as well as the ability to be at rest and undistracted, so we can address the new metabolism of the energy coming into your form. There's a lot that's shifting and changing. Disclosure can equal disclosure. That's the lower disc of your back. We already know they are here and have been for a long time. Thanks, dear Mila. Yeah, they've been here a really, really long time. In fact, some of the newest disclosure kind of stuff that's come out has to do with the U.S. have had possession of 10 different UFOs, or aerial UPs, or whatever they're called. There's the aerials. There's the aviation side, and then there's the aquarium. And so there's the two. I think it's aerial. I always mix that one up. Anyway, and most of those ships were gifted. They were just randomly set down for us to find, filled with all types of advanced technology and ability. And that's where so much of our reverse engineering has come from, these gifts that someone is just gently leaving for us, and has been doing since, at least since 1940. So if you go through a lot of these old pictures and stuff, like, what I mean by old pictures, we're talking about, like cave paintings, and we're talking about really old cartography, beautiful, artistry, that you'll see vessels in the sky. You'll see what appears to be UFO throughout all of these different things. Sometimes they're called the eye or the lips even. This whole lips thing is very interesting. The dots on the lips story, that's kind of a big one right now. It's really interesting. Anyway, yeah, and so we're just coming to awareness, or it's being proven. We no longer are being called crazy for having these experiences and then also reporting them, when before we would be ostracized. Sheep no more. I'm being really affected by the juniper trees. we were having some pretty intense weather. Electricity's been going in and out, and anyway, blowing up all of this juniper. So I'm like having a strong reaction. Signed up for your channel. Looking forward to it. Awesome, Lizzie. Thank you for connecting. It's really cool when we can give each other support. Thank you for doing that. Black sheep are out, party time. That's right. That's right, dude. I kind of consider myself like a rainbow sheep. You know what I mean? Like, that's always been, kind of who I am. The vast majority of my life, the way I dressed was there's camo shorts or camo pants with a tie-dye. like long sleeve, short sleeve tie-dyes. I had all the different types of tie-dyes. Yeah, that was just how I dressed. And so, in fact, I'm going to start making tie-dyes again. That's going to be fun. I haven't done that for a little while. So it's going to be really cool. Anyway, ha ha ha, I'm finally getting to an entire sink full of dishes and have laundry going as I am listening. That's awesome. Congratulations, Lyra. I've been too tired to deal with them all week. Lots of sleep, lots of downloads. Oh, there's a lot going on, Lyra. Um, wow, yeah, there's a lot of us here, and so I'm really glad that you brought it up. Like, it's so good that we can talk about this. You know what I mean? Like, I know a lot of us are having this experience, having this. We all have a chair. If you don't give yourself a chair in your room to hang the things that you're not sure if you're going to be able to get around to washing before you need them again, then you end up creating one. You know what I mean? There ends up being a pile somewhere, and I discovered that about myself. I think it was I think it was like 1998, or excuse me, 2008. I finally said, you know what? I just need to give myself a place to land my stuff instead of like constantly cleaning that spot off, and then it ends up being piled up again. But especially lately, there's so much of it. So thank you for saying that. Being honest and forward about that is really helpful for all of us. I noticed, just, it's not so bad as it was, I think, it seems, but the filter culture has kind of doesn't need to be there. Like, we all are the same. We all fart, and they always stink. You know what I mean? Like, we just get over that fact, and we're all the same, and we're all kind of fumbling through it. Some of us don't know what's going on more than others, but there are those that have a little bit more of an inkling that are guiding the way, and that's all that it is. And not even meant to be a guide, but to say, see, look, like, you can do this, try this, maybe that'll help. That's why we're here, and that's why we're doing what we're doing here in these YouTube movies. These I'm having a very difficult time with vocabulary, and I've been noticing that on and off for like 2 weeks. It happened before, and that was the precursor to a really big shift in consciousness globally. So I'm really interested in watching it happen again. It feels like a good thing. But yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for sharing your truth and for allowing for, us to all be ourselves. We don't have to talk about aliens to awaken the masses. Oh, that's right, chaos. Exactly. We can talk about, the truth, like I was just saying, the unfiltered reality that we are shifting. And as we shift, then so too do the collective. So it's a service to others as well as to ourselves. Rainbow sheep unite. Oh, there is no natural weather at this point. Yeah, there is quite a bit of stuff going on, chaos in the world. Speaking of chaos, and man, the kind of weather that we've been all over the planet, and like, there's just so much. There's just so much coming forward. What I'm really the most excited about, is the untelling of the lies of the history that's been taught to us, and the way that we've been brainwashed to believe something. It's been required by law to submit your child to the school fun group, and to be brainwashed and to be told these stories over and over again, and having to memorize them and be able to recite them and accept this is your history. And now that's being undone, and so too is a lot of other things associated with that. So I'm so glad that we're here. We made it to the other side, man. Hello, Car. Good to see you, sweetie. Funny about the forks and the dishes. At this rate of no appetite and Ascension Symptoms, we'll be trading in forks for straws. Forks and dishes is reminding me of tuning forks and flying saucers. Yeah, there's a lot to that. I would have to agree. It's funny how many people have had this conversation where they're like, I just rather just drink my food, and not even really out of laziness. They just, or anything like that. They just don't really connect with food as much, so It's kind of interesting how many people are saying that. Multi-dimensional sheep, Karen. Woo. Oh, yeah, that's right. Um, there's so much going on right now in the world, the collective and a collective sense, as well as, um, on a micro scale as well as the macro. Like allowing yourself to connect to your multidimensionality. I'm really glad you actually brought that word up, Karen. Is that it's very strange to try to fully grasp with a linear mind the multidimensionality that we are in this quantum way. The omnipresent aspect of our energy, our soul, and how it connects directly as an appendage might to creator source, light, God, whatever words you choose to use. You know what I mean? Like there's so much to this. If we just allow ourselves to, you know, release the division, the belief in division, which a lot of the world has been doing more and more recently. I've been so honored to get to watch this part of our global evolution, where the division in the micro as well as the macro are being slowly resolved and united once again. Yeah. Oh, yes, the lies about our beloved Mary Magdalene. She was a high priestess. She knew. And exactly this, that's what I didn't know what it meant all this time. Spirit's been saying for over a year, we're moving from the Trinity to the Quadrinity. They said somewhere in the middle to remind me that that has nothing to do with leaving behind something. It's just including one more. So we're taking the Trinity with us as we include the mother aspect. There's a lot of mothers, a lot of mother energies that had not been honored or included so they can be accessed by the collective, such as or Mary Magdalene, such as a lot. What I've been having come through the most lately, spiritually speaking, they call themselves the 27 Mothers. And they're really a very beautiful, high frequency group, these nurturing, wise sages. And they're just so lovely to be in the presence of. I later realized, of course, the 27 is divisible by 3, so it's the 369, but in continuation. And these 27 mothers are coming in to balance out the Trinity into what is the Quadrinity. So then you have the Father, Son, the Holy Ghost, the Mother too. And the Mother could be in any placement. You don't have to, there's no hierarchy, though a lot of times we consider that as humans do. So anyway, it's just really beautiful that these 27 mothers are coming in. And so, by the way, I did a group meditation yesterday where the 27 mothers were represented. I also have done the past, I think, at least the past 4 meditations they've come. I go to a channeling state in meditation, and we are guided through a beautiful meditation, whatever is required and needed. So anyway, that is free. If you want to join our Telegram group, that's also free. The group's free, as well as the meditations that we've posted there. I recorded the audio of it to share it with anyone who would like to repeat it or who hadn't got the chance to come live. And I want to say thank you to all of you. The donations that I've received as a result of that meditation that I led yesterday was a love donation fundraiser for my daughter's birthday swing. And I want to say thank you to everyone who donated. We're almost to how much we need. And so I'm super excited. It's something that she's going to be 11, and that's what she really, really wants. And the fact that that's a possibility to give. I mean, think about when I was 11, man, I wanted a tree house. That's what I wanted. And like being able to have that thing, that your own space, your own property, so you can go out and just kind of be in your own world and you all made that possible. We're almost there, of our total that we need. So it's just, I want to say thank you to everybody who donated and who assisted my daughter in this way. I really appreciate it. So anyway, I got to get going. Let me grab this last comment. It looks pretty interesting. Joshua says it has to be clever as it can possibly be, to even hope to hold a candle to the truth of being. Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's very true. I can see you guys are talking about something else. I think that I probably missed. Um, but anyway, thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you for this amazing opportunity that you've all provided for me, coming in here, being part of this group, this beautiful group of amazing lights that you all are. It has truly been an honor and a privilege, and I look forward to continuing to do this for a long time. In the meantime, I just want to remind everybody we're having some cool guests coming up. I actually waiting for a confirmation on Wednesday's guest to be sure that it's the person that I think it is before I announce it. I actually forgot to go look. I need to check Telegram. Anyhow, but for sure. So someone's going live on Wednesday. If I don't have a guest, I'm always happy to come on. I know a lot of stuff's going to happen between now and Wednesday. So including, but not limited to, a lot of really powerful things in the heavens, that's happening right now. So if I don't have a guest, I will join live on my own, and I look forward to seeing you all after for our group Zoom meeting that we do every week. We're going to be doing it every Wednesday still. It starts at 4:30 Central Time. So that's 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern, 10:30 p.m. UK, 11:30 p.m. Denmark and Netherlands region. And it's really a fun gathering for 2 hours that I don't require any kind of financial gain, though. I always do leave my link for any donations that want to come through. You're invited to come without any kind of donation, of course. And so please know that it's going to be really fun. So please join us if you feel like it. And then also on Friday, we'll be coming on to have this really awesome conversation with this group of wise sages, is how I feel that they are. And it's going to be a fun conversation regarding a lot of these revelation topics, the things that have been hidden. We're just going to talk about them. We're just going to talk about them, and we're going to put it all out there. And it's going to be a very interesting conversation. So I love all of you so much. Happy birthday to my daughter. Thank you so much. That was nice. Love to everyone. We are not alone. Aho, we are not alone. We are amazing. We are strong. We are powerful. And we are many. Sending you all so much love. You got this. And I will see you very soon. Would you have is the link still posted on YouTube in community section? Yes. Thank you so much for asking. For the group, it's posted on YouTube as well as in Telegram. So I post the link for the YouTube, or excuse me, for the weekly Zoom meetings in the YouTube community section the day before. Sometimes the morning of. It's not because we're not going to do it. And then also I'll put it in our Telegram group, so that way anybody can access it. If there's been an occasion where people have asked me to email it to them, if I have enough notice, I can do that. I just got, usually leading up to something, I'm busy because then I'm doing the single mom thing and all that, and so, but if I have enough notice that you would require it sent to you through email, I can usually do that. So thank you all so very much. I love you all, and I'll see you very, very soon. Aho blessing.